Hi there, this is Matt Heffernan. Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a pretty quick one here. I'm going to show you what my latest game is that I'm creating. This time it's not for the Commander X16. This is actually for the venerable Atari 2600. If you saw my video from a while back of doing a Hello World on the Atari 2600, it goes into a bit about what it takes to actually develop for this platform, which is extremely simple. And because of its simplicity, the programming for it is actually very complex, because it really puts the onus on the programmer for really doing just about everything, really controlling what's happening on the screen and timing everything according to where that electron beam is going through that display. It's a very big challenge, and what inspired me was that level of constraint, really, and what we can do to actually create what I think is a pretty good game. Now, you're not going to get a really great game by modern standards on the 2600. You're just not. But you can still get something that's a little more interesting, and it's something that can still tell a story. So I try to think of what would be a very simple, very well-known and understood and understandable story that I could do for the Atari 2600. And going back to the inspiration for the name of my company and a lot of my online branding now for over 20 years of Slithy Games, of course, comes from the Lewis Carroll book Alice Through the Looking Glass, and where it's Slithy Toves instead of Slithy Games, but I have Slithy this and Slithy that. And for Slithy Games, I felt that the first Atari 2600 game to be released under that banner should be a adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. I'm not going to start with the sequel. We're not going to do a sequel, then a prequel, and all that. We'll start with that first story. And if this goes well, I think I'll actually do a Through the Looking Glass game, which I think would be a very cool thing, and it would definitely appeal to me in a very specific way. But for Alice in Wonderland, we're taking an even more familiar story, and where we can really abstract away a lot of the details, as opposed to XCI games like Cavi's Quest. If you want to see the latest demo, that's also on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go subscribe, click on the bell for notifications, and you'll see some of this stuff. So what I'm going to show you now is where I'm at with Alice in Wonderland. And if you're at all familiar with the book or the story or the movie or whatever, people have consumed this story in many different forms, and you should recognize some of the basic things. But first, let's do the beginning. And here it is. Here's the title screen. Now, yes, this is definitely a lot more graphically intense than most title screens from Atari 2600, but I wanted to have the cover of a book, and as a result I have a title screen that takes up the size of a lot of early 2600 ROMs just to render. So yeah, it's complicated, but and of course by modern standards it's ridiculously simple. But this actually takes a lot of doing to do a big quasi bitmap with the Atari 2600. But here we go. Got my title screen, and you hit the fire button. I don't require you to do a reset. I don't like the games that require you to do a reset. I prefer having a title screen and click the fire button, because you only got one button on your joystick. Click that button and boom, you're into the game. And there's Alice, and there's White Rabbit. Oh, the White Rabbit's jumping away, and you can use the joystick to try to chase that White Rabbit, but you're not going to catch him. And you can see here, this is just holding down right, and if I jump with the fire button, because you can see here the beginnings of platformer, I can run and jump at the same time, and then I keep going, and when I hit the end, boom, I'm in the next level. And of course this is Alice falling down that proverbial rabbit hole, and this will be sort of one of those racing type games, top-down racing games, where you have to avoid the sides and ultimately collect an item. You're going to have to collect an umbrella that will be in a little notch in here that you have to be able to navigate in and out of, so that little Alice doesn't go splat when she hits the bottom of the rabbit hole. And that's it. So I'm working towards making this level interactive, and of course just to do this much is a lot of code, a lot of work. But so far I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you want to follow. If you look down in the description, I'm going to have the link for the GitHub repository for this game, as well as a link to my new website, slivygames.com. And I have a blog going on there. I'm going to be blogging about this. I'm going to be making YouTube videos in addition to the other games that I'm working on. So I'll talk to you again soon. And please, if you haven't, subscribe, click that bell, get the notifications, and like and comment this video if you want to see a particular scene turn into a level, if you have an idea of what a level for an Alice in Wonderland 2600 game could be. Please, I am all ears. Send that to me, do that comment, and please let me know what you think. And of course, if you want to help contribute, this is an open repository on GitHub. This is going to be a free and open source game. I'm not looking to make any money out of that, except if people want physical copies. I plan on making cartridges and boxes and things that will help subsidize some of my more commercial efforts. All right, well, I thank you, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.